Well, Ethiopians are quick to tell you that it was they who discovered coffee. Legend has it that 1400 years ago, a herder noticed that his goats were extra frisky after eating the leaves of the Arabica plant.
Well, in a town just outside Washington, D.C., a cafe run by two Ethiopian women just ranked second out of hundreds of coffee shops in the area. Viewers, Laurel Bowman visited the Kefa Cafe in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Hey, how are you?
Ethiopian sisters Lene and Ababa Sagaya have run the Kefa Cafe near Washington, D.C. for more than 16 years now. And there's no doubt their customers come for the coffee. It's organic and lightly roasted, as Lene says it should be.
For example, if we take spinach, if you boil it versus steam it, you will really taste the steamed spinach better than the boiled one. Coffee is very similar to that.
But the sisters have provided more than coffee and breakfast fare. Their small cafe has become a second home, home office, and early morning refuge for the many people we met here.
I think all Africans are loving people, so here when I come here, I always get a smile early in the morning. It's great to get that because, you know, in the morning people are always rushing and so angry and impatient to get their coffee and things like that. And I can always come here and have a good conversation and feel peaceful.
As women entrepreneurs, Lene and Ababa say they certainly want to earn a dollar, but their mission matters most. Simply put, they strive to make the world a more beautiful place, starting with what's right around them. These hats and scarves displayed here are another way that the sisters give back to the community. Each time a customer buys one, the charity that provided them gives another one to a local homeless shelter. The work of local artists adorns the walls, and the cafe uses only clean current electricity. Their customers like the green approach.
The spoons that you can use instead of the plastic stirrers for the coffee. When I come, I get a mug instead of a plastic cup.
And as the years have passed, they have created a community.
I can give you an example. We have a kid that has been coming here since he was like 5 months. He works with us now. He comes and helps. Actually, he's just walked in.
Right there. Just me and my little brother.
Maybe one day he will take over, but when we retire. Right, Ian? You're gonna take over when Ababa and I retire?
Do you still feel like you're connected to Africa in any way and that you can give any of that to your customers?
Oh, definitely, of course. Of course, everything that I am doing now, that I have learned it from my background, from my parents, from Africa, so it is a good thing to share.
A simple shop on a short street, but inside a village. Laurel Bowman for In Focus in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Well, first I have to say, Laura, that's a great story you did there.
Well, thank you, Vince.
Yes.
I
Did you
appreciate
taste some
it.
of the coffee yourself?
Of course. I drank it all morning. It was delicious.
Now, you know, Laurel, there are thousands of coffee shops in the D.C. area. And, you know, when you hear about coffee, people always think Starbucks. So it's really interesting and actually very encouraging to know that little shops like these are making it.
Exactly. That's actually one of the questions that I asked a lot of customers. I said, why are you here when there's Starbucks? There are 4 Starbucks, you know, within walking distance. And they said the coffee is just so much better. But not only that, these 2 women create this community where everybody in this little town can meet and greet. They network in the morning. They see the county executive there. So they can hang out all day if they want. So it's just a real community.
I saw this young man with dreadlocks at the top of the story saying he likes to come there in the morning because he gets this good smile. He connected it with the warmth of Africa. So there's a kind of a personal touch to the way they deal with customers rather than just a business dealing.
Absolutely. And she very much attributed that to her African heritage and how she was raised. She was actually spent some time in a cafe as a child, and so she modeled herself after her parents, and that's one of the things. She wants everybody to be happy, and I must admit, I stayed a little bit longer than I should have.
You drink it
Because I
at
was
good
so
coffee.
happy.
So this frisky business with the goats, does it translate in when they actually process the coffee? Is that still an effect that maybe people still are drawn to coffee for?
Absolutely. Well, coffee has played just a huge role in history as much as wine, it seems. So when I started to read in. So.
And what I think is really fascinating about this story also is that actually the Ethiopians do believe that coffee was discovered there. Some say actually it was a herder from Yemen who was in Ethiopia and found these goats kind of taking coffee or this plant and getting a little high, and he got curious about it. So to have these ladies actually selling coffee here next to Starbucks, what a contrast. These are the people really who kind of who are from the home of coffee, but we have this multi-billion companies that are making a lot of money out of coffee, especially coffee from the developing nations. Did these ladies talk about a little bit to do with the farmers in those countries in Africa who get very little for their coffee, working so hard?
She did, and one of the buzzwords now in coffee seems to be not fair trade, but direct trade. And how do we really get back to the roasters, make sure, not just the roasters, but get back to the farmers and make sure that they get a fair wage. And so she's not visited her farmers directly, but she feels very confident. She's in contact with them, and she feels very confident that they're being well compensated.
Well, thank you so much, Laurel Bowman, for joining us and giving us some insights into that story.